Okay, so I don't know if you've seen these commercials for the Dodge Journey, where they're hiding 3 Dodge Journeys throughout the United States. And the third one is somewhere East Coast, based on the commercial, I think somewhere near Lake George. So I've been watching the first commercial and dissecting every single bit. So I'm going to show you some of the things we found in this commercial.
It's not like being there.
Boom. Here we go. It's really hard to see. That's blurry, but it looks like it might say Wisconsin or something. It says Vermont. I looked it up, confirmed that.
74 and 73, okay? Then
There's
take
the
note of
Vermont
these
sign.
3 little white signs and the Vermont sign.
We can pan over, and over here's the ferry, so we know exactly where they're going into Vermont. This bridge is on Route 87 leaving Albany, so I have a feeling the start city for the East Coast is going to be Albany. If it is, we're on the right track.
3.
Again, Uncle Sam. That is the tallest Uncle Sam in the world, which is in Lake George. So now we know Lake George. Kyle and I are going to Vermont, and we are going to go look for this Dodge Journey. And when I say look for it, I mean we are going to find this Dodge Journey. It's going to be amazing. I'm pretty excited about this trip, and I'd be even more excited if we won a car and $7,000. We have left New Jersey. We've gotten into New York State. We're on 87. We're heading north. We've got about a 5-hour drive. Along the way, I will show you the points that are in the Dodge commercial. That way, you know we're on the right track. And we are coming through Albany. You may recognize from the video this bridge. It's a clue. Right about here, there's a shot. And that tells us we're going the right direction because they did this in the commercial. Alright, we've gotten off the highway. We're on back roads right now. And another clue. Uncle Sam. Tallest Uncle Sam in the world. Alright, so, I'm going to put the window up because the wind might be intense. Wow, I'm using one hand to use a camera, one hand to put the window up, and driving with my knees. Bad idea. Okay, so. Ooh, scenic view, 1/4 mile. I love this area. It's definitely legit. Ooh, scenic point, pulling over. And
That's someone's mailbox.
instantly, boom.
Chill.
We've got ourselves a view. Oh my goodness. There was wind from driving. You get out here, and it's just silence.
Except for that one car ruining it.
Yeah, that one car's ruining it, and then there's some crickets. Overlooking Lake George. It's definitely awesome. It is just, this is so legit out here. The weather is not the greatest, but the scenery is the greatest. And so I think the weather's good in a sense because it scares the kitties away. And we're going to do a little bit of research. We're going to go up through New York, see what we can find, and then we're going to head into Vermont where our hotel is. Mrs. Froner is very nice and booked us a sweet hotel for Kyle's birthday. She didn't want him sleeping in the back of a van or some ghetto motel on his birthday. But happy birthday to Kyle! Woo! If the Dodge is not in New York, it may be in Vermont, but it's gotta be one of those 2 states. It has to be. Oh, here's the shot right here. Boom. That's the shot. There's that cool mountain in the background. This is right there. Boom, that's it right there. Ooh! So that's the shot they used in the commercial, which means we are, or could be supposedly, on the same track as the Journey. Quick ferry into Vermont. We got some inside scoop from the ferry masters over there. Oh yeah, we're gonna point out the signs when we drive the car off. Ooh, we're getting close. But that's Vermont over there. Time to get back in the car. And now we're getting off the ferry, and I'm gonna show you a shot that to some who have seen the Dodge commercial may look familiar. Boom. How's that look? How's that look, right? That's from the Dodge commercial. And try to find another spot along Lake Champlain that it could be. Or maybe that Dodge is going to switch things up. We'll have to play this one by ear. It's Saturday morning. It's Kyle's birthday today. I let him sleep in a little bit, but now I have to go wake him up with a loud happy birthday song. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday! You're 21. I wish the happy birthday first. Let's go find a car, dude.
You got real quiet. I was like, oh, he's up to something. I heard getting ready for it, and I was like, oh, what's he doing?
Alright, we're waiting here in the hotel lobby. We're looking at the live feed, waiting for it to go live. There we go. Our first car found. Second car found. 9:24. Third journey goes live. We know it's gotta be in Vermont. We talked to the ferry guy. The ferry guy tells us we're in the right place. So when it goes live in 5 minutes, it's going to be a lot of traffic. We're going to watch the clue video. It's probably going to point to Albany. We're going to watch the live feed, and that's the key. We're going to listen for airplanes. We're going to look for clouds. We're going to compare it with weather for where there are clouds in the area. We're going to look at the sun, find out which direction the car is facing. Then we can narrow down where we think it might be. We're going to look for foliage, trees, landscape, anything we can find, and compare it to all the things we've documented and we're looking at and the areas we've driven around. Then we pick a point we think it might be, we drive and find it. Well, here we are. Dodge is throwing a curveball. Every hour they're releasing a new clue, but there's such a big range we can't even tell if we're on the right track. Dodge kind of pulled a fast one because this is different than what they did in the West Coast or Midwest. Dodge has put up signs on the side of the road at various points saying you're within this distance of the car. This is an adventure, that's for sure, and I'm proud of Dodge for being a million steps ahead of all of us thinking we knew where the thing was. This is intense. I don't know if it's easy for you to tell in this, but this is like butterfly land. There are just butterflies everywhere. Alright, Kyle and I reached the sign, which I didn't video, but I took a picture of, that Dodge put, which was on the side of the road that said, you're within 350 miles of the journey. We noticed that there's this barn way off in the distance, and it really could be with the journey in it. How dumb would we feel if we didn't go to this barn and it ended up being here? Well, here's the barn. Oh, I'm seeing if you can see. We can see and tell there's nothing in there, but maybe it's harder for you to see with the video. But I can confirm to you, there's no journey in there. Oh, yikes, this thick stuff. And we had another adventure. So, the question is, where to next? As you can see, beautiful scenery. We're still on the hunt, but it is not bad to be hunting with this sort of scenery to entertain us all along. But what is bad is trying to back up and video at the same time. So I'm gonna stop. Alright, so my mom got home from picking up my sister. She is looking at the live feed, giving us clues. Kyle and I looked at the live feed. We saw a building. We turned to our right. It is literally right next to us. My mom calls me. She says, there was a sign. Welcome to something about a maple museum. We look it up. Sure enough, it's on our path. Another sign. Welcome to Killington. Also on our path. So we are on the path right now. Alright, Maple Museum. Good. We're really getting close now. Yeah. Kyle, keep an eye on how we need to go to get to Killington. Alright, this is great. This is crazy. There's a bug in here. Set him free. Be nice. Oh wow. I probably shouldn't get him with hitting lights. Okay, I should concentrate on driving with all these crazy drivers. It's late at night. I'm driving with my knees, talking with my hands, and videoing. This is bad. Would any journey really be complete without the police? I was going 47 in a 30. I lose, but I didn't know it was a 30. And also I'm in uncharted territory, but I explained very nicely to the cop, and he was a very nice guy, and I think he's actually going to point us to a hotel, although he did say that from here, the nearest hotel is about an hour and a half away, and until then, all there is Moose. We'll see. But he's going to tell us where to go. It's going to be good. He was a nice guy. Dodge is throwing curveballs like crazy. We call my mom. My mom gets on the computer. She's looking at the slideshow as we are following each picture. And so we're pretty much keeping up with the slideshow exactly where we need to be. Before we know it, all the people with out-of-state plates that we think are also looking for the journey are falling behind. They're stopping for gas or making wrong turns, and we're still on the right path. And then at about 10 o'clock, Dodge takes down the slideshow thing and puts up a chalkboard saying, we're done for the night, resuming at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning where we left off. Boom, that's it. Dodge's Facebook page puts up every picture. So now, tonight, anyone who wasn't caught up to where we were, and we were in front of the pack, let me tell you, they've caught up by now, I think, because they could be going online and figuring everything out, or just catching up. But tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, we're going to be driving right where we know we're supposed to be. She's going to be giving us directions. We're going to be keeping up. Who knows how long they're going to have us going, though. 375 miles into Maine, Connecticut, like, who knows where they're going to take us. We could be down in Florida by the end of this. And so it's really, really interesting at this point. So we stop at a Days Inn. Every room was taken. We're about to sleep in the back of the car. So ghetto, so worth it. I mean, hey, we're college kids on a road trip. It wouldn't even be right if we had a nice hotel room, although we did last night. Tomorrow's going to be an adventurous day.
Good morning, world. We're going back to the car right now. After a fun night. It's not really too often you sleep in the back of a car, but I now have, and I hope I don't have to again for a long time. When sleeping in the back of a car, there are a few places I'd rather wake up than a Days Inn. Continental breakfast, free Wi-Fi, nice people. We worked out a little deal with them, and they let us sit in their lobby, use the bathroom, continental breakfast, good stuff. And now, we prepare. We're gonna do some research and head out, so we're on the right track.
Alright, Mom, I'm doing a real quick video to update. We are now traveling into Maine. We are up in Maine. Dodge's curveball is bigger than we ever expected. We got across New Hampshire in no time, and now we're heading up into Maine. It's hard to tell who else is looking for the journey, but we were traveling with a lot of different people who have turned off at different times. But 2 cars behind us, there's a Durango we just passed, and we think they might be looking for the journey because they've been on the phone on the same path we've been on. So I don't know. We're definitely trying to stay ahead of them. But if we're lucky, they'll need gas, we'll need to pull off, or who knows. Only time will tell. Okay, so Dodge throws another curveball. The final picture is a picture of a sign that says call. They leave it up for a long time. Then the guy comes in, puts up the chalkboard with a number on it without the area code. We slam on the brakes, pull over to a farmer's market, ask the guy area code. We call the number with that area code inserted. Sure enough, we reach this thing. Congratulations, you're on the right path, something, you're getting close. This is the last clue. Head north from where you are, look for a red Jeep, a little after that, a sign. And it is tough because we're not exactly sure where to go. But we're heading the right direction. I think we're going to Portland, and I think we're heading north from there. We'll see what happens. Hopefully there'll be a bit of a foot race at the end where we can make up some ground. According to some people online and stuff, we may not be looking for a red Jeep. We might be looking for a red steed, or maybe a red sheep, or maybe a red sheep. We don't actually know. So if there's anything red, our eyes instantly go to it, and then we see if it rhymes with eep. But we feel ridiculous right now because we're driving literally miles, and we don't even know if we're going the right way. And then all this would be for naught. But I don't know. I just don't know right now. So we'll see.
One goes right.
Alright, so Kyle and I were a little down on ourselves because we couldn't figure out what was going on, and we had traveled a really far way up Route 1, but we might have been on the wrong highway the whole time. We're thinking, do we turn around, drive 50 miles back, and then retrace our steps, but on a different highway to see if we can find a clue there? And in our slight sulking, but looking on the internet, we were looking around trying to find something. We found out that what he might have said on the phone call, Red Eats. Not red Jeep, not red sheep, not red something Red Eats. Because there's a place called Red Eats in Bar Harbor, Maine, which specializes in lobster rolls, and just so happens that in the live feed, the one guy came out, sits down in a chair, and eats a lobster roll. So, we're going on this whim, and we're driving up to Red Eats. We'll see what happens, and worst comes to worst, Bar Harbor's beautiful. The smell of burning rubber on a road trip. We were just driving, chilling along, innocent as can be, and then somebody in front of us really messed up because everyone slammed their brakes on, and we were going downhill at a high rate of speed, no warning. Next thing we know, cars are spinning around and turning and so I slam my brakes on, I'm skidding, I don't have control. I released the brakes, turned to the right to avoid the cars, which meant I accelerated because I knew I wasn't going to brake in time, but I was able to turn out of the way and then slam my brakes on again to slide into the woods.
Come on, we gotta follow one.
But after getting into the woods,
one goes straight.
It was all good.
Brake.
Because, I'm sensitive on the brakes right now. Jello legs, No, and then after eventually, coming to pretty much a stop, in the woods, like brush
Completely in the
higher
woods.
than we can see in the woods, like that kind of thick Maine, like
Brush.
marsh, and then pulling out, looking around. Some old guy just pretty much had a heart attack because he's like sitting in his car shaking on the
Red's
side of the road. Oh my goodness, it's Red's Eats. This is what we think is the thing, Red's Eats.
What do we
But
call
now we have to find. Turn right. He said north.
There's one in particular, named after the owner. His name also rhymes with what she sells. In the window, you'll find what you're looking for.
Woodworking made with hard labor and antiques. A
He also
lady.
said she.
Yeah, so her name rhymes with what she sells. Shady Lady. But Lady isn't her name, is it? And then, do we come over here? Are we supposed to come north? As you can tell, they've been giving us clues now through the phone so that we have to find places and then call up different things so that we can't just wing it. We have to, like, get out in the world and find things. We can't just sit on the computer and figure it out. This is tough. Well, alas, my mom just called me because she's been keeping an eye on the live feed. Somebody found it. Some girl. Although it's sad, props to her. She did do better than we did. She found it. I'd love to know at this point how close we are, or how ridiculously far away we are.
At this moment, we are in Rockland, Maine.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how far that is from home. I'll be able to give you a real good picture of how far it is when I count the mileage from here all the way home.
I
But-
can tell you that that is Canada, except it's not.
It's really not Canada, but no, it's we're far away, but it's beautiful, so we don't even really mind. Because in the end, what a trip! What a trip we had.
What a trip indeed.
It would have been nice if there was a guaranteed happy ending, but you know what? Actually, there was a guaranteed happy ending because we had fun and we enjoyed it. It would have been nice if there was a car involved, and hopefully they'll release where the car actually was so that on the way home we could stop. Unless, of course, the car is even farther than we are. Although according to the original mileage, which was 375 miles from Ticonderoga, New York, we're only a few miles from literally the farthest possible spot it could be. So, oh, it's a sad time, but that's alright. There's always another adventure! I'm eager to see how it was solved, you know, like the story of whoever this girl who found the journey, and I hope Dodge releases the answers to all the clues. Well, after some long adventuring, we're back home in Jersey. A long drive last night. We made it back, a little bit of sleep, and then to class. I'm going to show you guys the path the journey took. And here we go. Let's see. Here's the path. Starting down here in Albany, New York, all the way up to Ticonderoga, New York, over into Vermont. Then from there, all the way across Vermont into New Hampshire. This is where we stayed on night 1, all the way down to New Hampshire. This is on day 2. Then all the way up into Maine. Right here, you can see it's a different color. That is because it is what they call a real-world clue. They had 3 real-world clues. One of them was Red's Eats. Found that was good. We got the clue there, we kept going. Angelique's Antiques, that's the clue we missed. We kept going, got into Rockland, Maine. In Rockland was where the 3rd real-world clue was. That's exactly where we were. The realty place was where the clue was. We were right there. We wouldn't have found the clue, I don't think, but we just gave up even looking because my mom called me and said somebody found it. So in the end, we got within a few miles of reaching the journey. We could have stumbled upon it practically. We were so close. After 600 miles, we were a stone's throw from the very barn the journey was. It's a little sad, 600 miles, and to be so close, but we had an amazing time. And I'm happy for Melissa that she found it, and knowing that somebody else is so happy about it, that at least gives me a little bit of happiness. Although it is a little sad, but we had a crazy adventure, and now I feel like I'm familiar with a whole section of the country, like really familiar. We drove these roads like crazy. There are some parts where we were like exploring every back road, every single field, everything. And then up into Maine, Bar Harbor, just cool little towns. we had a blast. So thank you, Dodge, for giving us this opportunity and allowing us to go into the country, into areas we maybe wouldn't have without this motivation of finding the journey. So although I don't have a journey right now, we did have an amazing journey. So thank you, Dodge.